What is up, RotoGrinders? 2 hours nonstop NBA DFS conversation starts right now, taking you all the way up the lock. Thankfully, there is so much going on in the association. Thankfully, the sites, both FanDuel and DraftKings, they said, you know what? We're not going to make you think about the Sixers or the Warriors or the Suns or the Blazers. They're cutting off the slate at 8 o'clock. So we basically have a 8-game sprint slate. We have 8 games in a 1 hour window. 3 games in the first 7 o'clock block. And then we have 2 games at 7:30, 3 games, 8 o'clock. Lots of injury news we'll talk about, lots of trade news. If you missed some things, the Bulls are having a good time. They finally, after 9 years of threatening to do so and rumors, Vukovic is now on Boston. Anthony Simons was kind of known he would get chipped out at some point from Boston, going back to Chicago. Chicago also acquiring Jaden Ivey from Detroit. Kevin Huerter is gone. Mike Conley involved in that deal. He might just get dropped at some point. But the big one, Triple J going to Utah. Utah waited, for years, it seems like, to make a move. Finally, Utah makes a move. He's no longer 19. I think he's 26. Triple J acquired by the Jazz and cost them 3 future first-round picks. Not their first-rounder next year. One's like the Lakers. One is potentially their pick from the next season. But yeah, Kyle Anderson also involved, Walter Clayton Jr. It's basically Walter Clayton Jr. and 3 first-round picks for Triple J, more or less. Utah also got John Konchar and Jock Landale and Vince Williams. Tim, hectic day in the association. This leaves us, by the way, 2 teams that absolutely don't want to win. It's going to be the Jazz and 8. There's 8 Jazzmen taking on 10 Pacers. The Pacers played yesterday. They're playing the back half of a back-to-back, and they also very much want to lose. There's 8 players for the Jazz. They're on the road, and they are favored. That's what's left of the Pacers tonight. I mean, the chess match of, ruling out players, I still, didn't want to believe that, Markkanen and Nurkic are going to play, but they have 8 guys. You kind of have to play them, right? So I guess those guys are going to play some standard run. Isaiah Collier might play 40 minutes because if you look at that roster for Utah, he's the only ball handler. He's the only ball handler on that team. I did bet some overs and some alt overs on Collier assists in the middle of the night. So hopefully, little closing line value for your boy, because we did anticipate the situation. Yeah, Tim, a lot going on. We'll talk about that Utah in the other game. This is a game for us DFSers. All DFSers are going to be, locked in on Pacers and Jazz. If we, hit optimize, we just got Wiggins ruled out for Miami. Miami certainly involved in some trade rumors. Giannis and Ja potentially on the move. Feels like Ja more likely. Memphis is kind of fully blowing it up. Not a half measure. We've not seen Ja play for a while. He had a couple of really good games before they sat him down too, but maybe his injury is real. I don't know. Yeah, a lot going on. Tim, welcome. Happy Wednesday. Oh, no, it's Tuesday. I thought it was Wednesday. I got my days confused. It's not just Tuesday, Tim. It's a television Tuesday. We're giving away a week.
Wow.
Yeah, get excited. I know it's your favorite. You're thrilled to be here on a Tuesday for sure. Giving away a week free of RG Premium. Get in the Discord channel. Tell me what TV show I'm talking about. In the Discord, rotogrinders.com/Discord live stream chat channel. First clue is round. Round is the first clue. Tim, man, lots of news. Lots going on. Lots of moving parts. We still might lose Bobby Portis, who's projecting really well right now. A midday downgrade. The Jazz did not call up Oscar Tshiebwe. I thought for sure he would get called up because they only have 8 dudes. But according to their last injury report, he's still out and hanging out in the G League. So, yeah, they are down to 8. We have 10 players for the Pacers, and I think we have, is it 10 Bulls? How many Bulls? Yeah, 10 Bulls are left standing. But Jalen Smith is also questionable too. So, they traded away some pieces. Giddey is out. And that's another game where Chicago, Milwaukee, they've been coming on fast and furious as far as the tankathon. They've been spectacular in losing some games. I think they've lost 6 in a row, and they're going to be tough in the back half of the season if or, when Giannis gets traded or just doesn't come back. So it's going to be a race to the bottom for sure. Tim, happy Tuesday. How are things?
Happy Tuesday, Dino. Yeah, I don't usually get to do Tuesday shows with you. Busy day in the sports world. Definitely huge trades in the NBA. We've got an 8-gamer on both FanDuel and DK. We've got an 8-gamer NHL slate, Dean. So get excited for that as well. Yeah, definitely a lot of things to kind of parse through here. And we still have a lot of stuff pending. So this is going to be a pretty wild slate. I think the next couple of days are going to be pretty intense in terms of all the news, and that's why we really got to lean on our projections team. And I have full confidence that they'll work things out, and you and I will work things out and try to give people the best plays. Definitely going to be we're going to be getting a ton of exposure to Indiana and probably the other side of that game as well. Like you said, Utah only has 8 players. Earlier in the day, I thought they were only going to have 7. I was like, who's the 8th guy? And then I guess Nurkic was in, but at first I was only counting 7. I was like, I was so confused. I was like, well, we're going to be playing a ton of Utah here. But yeah, it's looking like it's a pretty crazy slate. I'm pretty excited for the slate, to be honest with you. I like slates where there's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah, and more parts will be moving for sure. By the way, you mentioned hockey. Is tomorrow the last day of the season until they put it on pause? Or have you looked ahead for the Olympics? When are we pausing the year?
I think it was Thursday.
Okay, you got a couple more days. Okay, until they put the season on pause. Yeah. Okay. And then you get a bit of a break there as far as yourself and the hockey team.
Going on another poker trip.
Really? Did the first? I never asked. I didn't want to ask because what if it went poorly? Did the first one go all right?
Oh well, it went poorly, Dean. So that's why I gotta go again. You know,
now
I got a Martindale my poker journey here. So
what was is there one hand that just like makes or break? I don't know. I don't think it's going to throw you off.
Last trip, I was playing PLO, and I flopped top set. It's a brutal game. I flopped top set, and the other guy flopped middle set. And on the turn, he turned quads, and we got it all in. And of course, that was that. That was basically the big highlight of my last trip.
Now, is this also like the last one where it's parts unknown? You don't like tell the people exactly where you're going, or you're going to give them a general geographic location?
And it'll be somewhere in the New England, Mid-Atlantic area. I mean, that's really because I don't know where I'm going. So I don't have anything set yet.
Libby wants to know what PLO stands for. That's pot limit Omaha. You get 4 cards. You got to use 2, no more, no less. And sometimes you flip the nuts in pot limit Omaha, and you're in trouble. You're kind of committed, and sometimes you can't improve. And oh man, that's a tough game. All right, let's. Anything you want to say as far as the slate before we dive in? Again, there's a ton of moving parts. It's kind of like trying to figure out. And I just hit refresh on our projections. Wiggins ruled out for Miami, so no hero obviously for Miami. They still have plenty of bodies. Well, we'll have that discussion. It's just kind of like figuring out who to make. Well, which cheapies on Indiana? How much Indiana is too much Indiana? If you're hitting just optimize right now, I think we're getting 3 or 4 pieces of Indiana in every single game. It's not so much that they're down to like 9 guys. Is it 10? 10. But they're all cheap. Like anybody who's good has just been booted out. And isn't it great that we have the Pacers, like the trickiest rotation to figure out in all basketball? Now it's a bunch of guys we have no real, we haven't seen this kind of layout where we're projecting Quentin Jackson, Shepard, Furphy, Walker, and Huff to start. We saw Huff not start a couple games ago and play 30 minutes off the bench. We saw Huff start last game and start and play like 10 minutes in total. He is just such a nightmare to get right. But when you get him right, things go well. If you don't get there with Huff, Jackson probably gets there. Also, Micah Potter is questionable too. We should note that. So they can possibly be down to 9. Anything you want to say as far as these slates overall? I don't think anything changed here. Yeah, so most popular play, Tim, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Pacers in my top 7 or 8, most popular players on DK. Mixed in there, Collier, who's going to play. What is our Collier projection of minutes? I'm going to say 39. I don't know. Is that crazy? We're only giving him 34. I like the over on 34, but I'm not on the projection team. But also,
you can't project him for 39.
I guess not.
Like that's, I mean, I get what you're saying. Like maybe I would lean the over there if I had to bet, over or under 34, but I don't think you can like leave the median at 39.
Yeah. I'm just looking at their roster and they have no ball handlers outside of Collier. George is down. They traded away Walter, but yeah, we'll have that discussion. He projects well at 34 minutes, and you're going to know I like Collier because I think he's going to play more than that. But there might be some goofiness. We've even seen Washington do goofiness. They did goofiness last game, and that's a good segue to our first game. That was against Sacramento, though, because they wanted to lose against Sacramento because Sacramento's just as, if not worse, than the Wizards. And the tanking is happening earlier and earlier, man. It's just barely February, and we're getting this nonsense before the All-Star break, but that's where we're at. Teams like Washington, teams like Sacramento, they kind of sort of have to do this, I guess. That's just the way it's set up. They got to take advantage. Big picture, what do you got? Anything you want to say before we dive fully in game by game?
Just keep an eye out, I think, on some of these bigger pieces of news that like we haven't gotten yet, whether that be the Bobby Portis news that would leave Miles Turner in a really good spot, I think. And I think a kind of a sneaky one that it's kind of an ugly game is that OKC game. And we got a lot of that OKC team that's it's questionable. So guys like SGA and Chet Holmgren, I think, are both still questionable. And that would end up being some really, really strong value. So that's just something to keep an eye on, because on paper that game is pretty gross. And if everybody's healthy, I don't want to play it. But if there's some pieces missing there, that could be a really, really good spot to get some really nice value on both sites.
Here's the thing, Tim. Indiana playing the back half of a back-to-back. There's 5 teams in the front end of a back-to-back. It's Boston, Denver, Milwaukee, New York, and OKC. Who does OKC play tomorrow night? Their nemesis, the Spurs. Mm-hmm. So I think at least one of these guys does not play. At least one.
So I know this is kind of a sprint slate, but you might not know that info between 7 and 8, right? I mean, I know there's only an hour there, but I think that's a meaningful hour if we don't get that news, that you might want to be leaving spots open for that OKC situation, if that's what your lean is.
In the same block, you have Bobby Portis, who's questionable. Who knows when we get that news? You can work with some Bulls. There's definitely some Bulls you can work with. But yeah, SGA, Hartenstein, Holmgren, all questionable. Caruso questionable. The bad Jalen Williams questionable. They currently have a ton of dudes. They have enough guys. Mitchell's still out, obviously. But yeah, I think at least one of these big of either Hartenstein or Holmgren. I was thinking Hartenstein was going to sit last night, kind of going through some stuff. And I did bet some Chet overs on rebounds. And then all of a sudden, he's questionable. But yeah, we'll see who's left standing here for OKC. But I feel really confident that one of their big names does not play tonight. I don't know that for sure, but I feel pretty confident. Okay, first game. I mentioned it. It's the Wiz. The Wizards at home versus New York. The Knicks, 227.5. That's the total. New York is a big boy favorite here, 13 points. So I think that means it's more likely Washington's not going to do the shenanigans. We saw last game against Sacramento. All their starters, none of their starters, did not play the fourth quarter. Just didn't play. We saw, George played like 18 minutes or so. They were playing. They closed with like Gill and Labassiere. It was bad. Riley had a big game off the bench. It was just such a mess if you look at that box score and if you fire up the court IQ stuff. But I think it's going to be less likely that happens because, the tank should take care of itself. New York is a 13-point favorite. As far as who's in and out in this one, McBride is still out for New York. Mitch Rob, front end of a back-to-back. He's out because they don't really need him against Washington in theory. Trey Johnson's still out for Washington. They're still without Vucevic. Trae Young, who knows if or when we'll ever see him wear a jersey this year. Well, he did wear a jersey for was it John Wall's night? Might have been John. He wore John Wall's jersey, but he didn't play because that's not his name. And he wasn't healthy, allegedly. Yeah, Wizards and New York. How are we feeling about this first game on the slate?
I flag planted Kaishan George on Sunday night show. Horrible call on my part. That was pretty awful. And I still ended up winning triple my buy-in Sunday night with like a 12-point fantasy performance from Kaishan George. So what could have been for me this game would be like pretty awesome on any other slate. Like it's kind of weird that You know, it's like, yeah, we can play Cat, we can play Brunson. They're going to be somewhat popular, but they would be, I think, like insanely chalky on most any other slate. Tonight they are going to be pretty popular, but you know, it's obviously it's a really good spot. I just think that if they're going to be this popular, I'm going to be looking to fade them. A, we have potential news situations. B, you know, I think that they're just better spots on the board. So I understand that, you know, Cat's only 8,300 and Brunson's 8,500, and I know that it's the Wizards, but I think they're just better games. So I think I'd be taking an underweight approach here on the Knicks, as weird as that sounds, going up against the Wizards.
That is that's pretty interesting. I'm somewhat surprised to see how popular Cat is. I like Cat fine. I just didn't think he'd be 31% owned.
It's that price.
It's a good price, yeah.
It's a really, really good price, and it's obviously it's that matchup.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really gonna be watching this game probably more closely than any other for any kind of ownership. You know, projected ownership, if that kind of goes up or down. I'm kind of think like if people are gonna like, if everyone's gonna like shy away from this game, maybe this is where I'd go. But if it seems like it's gonna stay here or get steamed, I think I'm gonna be looking to stay away from Brunson and Cat.
Yeah, and you, to be clear, you should let people know, and you know I know, and most people that watch the show know. You make what, one lineup, maybe two lineups, right? So that's if you're running 10 lineups, I assume. Not to speak for you, I assume you would have some Cat, you would have some Brunson mixed in.
Yeah, but I mean, I'll be clear though. If I was making 10 or 20, I'd still be coming in underweight. I'd still be coming in under the 30%. I'd still be coming under the 20% of Brunson. So just to be clear about that. Yeah, yes, they'd be hitting my pool. I don't think they're going to be hitting my pool in a 3-max though. I'm probably going to be playing three NBA teams tonight. So I don't think I'm going to be playing either one of them, to be completely honest, assuming everything kind of holds steady or they get even go up a little bit in ownership. I don't think I'm going to be playing
them. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm going to build my stuff out. And if I have 8,500 left, you know, or 8,300 left, I'm like, okay, I guess I'll play Cat. I'm fine with it. But the argument against it is the more than anything, it was probably the ownership. We're looking at 31%. D-Mills and Chet, any concern about the Wizards starters minutes? Yeah, I touched on it earlier. I think it's less likely that they do goofy stuff because it's more likely that New York is beating them and they can just play their guys and, you know, no shenanigans and, you know, the tank takes care of itself. But even if, like, do you like anybody in Washington if they get their quote-unquote normal minutes? Not really. Like, I don't really like anybody on this slate. I don't like anybody in Washington. Like, you're not.
Yeah. I don't think you're going to be getting to anybody here. I mean, I can't. I mean, I feel bad about flag planting Kaishan George. Like, you know, it just was a complete disaster. We have been playing Bub Carrington quite a bit lately. I just don't think this is the slate necessarily that I'm going to be looking to play him. So I don't think there's really anybody for Washington I'm going to be looking to get to.
Yeah. Kevin Love, by the way, officially out. He's ill once again, I believe. Yeah, that means they're still officially down to 8, Utah. And then on Indiana, they are officially down to 9 because Micah Potter just got ruled out. Which, you know, that seems like it doesn't matter, but I think it matters. I think it matters.
It matters.
Yeah, because that's going to make Huff and Jackson more predictable.
Man, that game is so bad.
Oh, it's going to be glorious and gross at the same time. The Utah Jazz have 8 basketball players, and they're on the road, and they're one of the worst teams in the league, and they're favored by 2.5 points. Like, shout out to the Pacers. They said, I mean, they're not even hiding it. You know, which at some point it took them a while to get there as far as leading to the tank, but now they just have to. You know, that's what they got to do, and that's what they're going to continue to going forward. I imagine it's the back half of back-to-back, and you're playing Utah, and you got to at least try to lose. Denver taking on Detroit, 229.5 is the total. Denver is a 5-point dog here in Detroit. Detroit just traded away Jaden Ivey, if you missed that. As far as their team, otherwise, Karis LeVert's available with his illness. We haven't seen him in a bit. He doesn't really matter. Denver does have Christian Brown questionable. Questionable with his ankle. Aaron Gordon is still out. He's going to be out for a month at least, they say. Hamstring. Cam Johnson is still out. You can get Joker really easily. It's something we'll have the same conversation about Luka. It's really easy. You know what? You can play them both really easily if you want to do that. You can get yourself some Luka and Joker, and it's not hard. It's Indiana and it's Utah. How you feeling about Detroit and Denver? We haven't exactly seen an explosion game from Joker, although in 25 minutes he put up 61 fantasy points against the Clippers. Wasn't very good against the Thunder. He did play 29 minutes, and he lost, I think, like 3 minutes or so to a blowout. So he was on track to play 32-ish. So he's almost full. Not a great matchup here against Duran and Beef Stew. The inside here for Detroit, but Joker's pretty much matchup proof. Is this something you've considered? It's a weird thing, Tim, where he's really easy to get because we have all these pump plays and he's not going to be owned, Joker. So I just think that's worth pointing out. Like maybe 10%, whatever it is. Not going to be very big ownership on him. How are you feeling about Denver and Detroit?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem if people want to jam in Jokic. I prefer Luka by quite a bit. So that's kind of like the angle that I'm going with. I hadn't really put it into much consideration playing both of them. I'm absolutely sure that you can do that on the slate. I mean, this slate is so stars and scrubsy, but there are other players that I kind of just like in the, 8K, 9K, even the 10K range more. So I hadn't really considered playing Luka and Jokic together. Like I said, I kind of strongly prefer Luka if you're going for one of them. But I mean, if you're building up multiple teams and Jokic is going to be 5%, then yeah, sure, that's fine. But I think this game it's not very good. This matchup's not very good for Jokic. I think if there is a stud in this game that I would like to play is Cade Cunningham at 10K. He would be my preferred spend up in this game. I could see maybe that's a contrarian way of playing maybe this game or playing the slate is playing some of that, Indiana chalk and then going Cade Jokic, do a little mini with those two. Cade's not going to be very popular either, but he will be more popular than Jokic. I just think this is kind of a bad matchup for Jokic, if there is such a thing.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't mean he can't beat it, right? But it's not optimal.
Right.
We got Cade at 16% on FanDuel, the only guy in double digits on FanDuel. And to your point on DK, Cade at 10, 11%, Joker at 6. No priorities, but it is. I can get Joker really cheap, and it's not really going to cost me a heck of a lot. Now it is going to cost you a center spot, and there are some pretty good centers, point per dollar centers. Hello, Indiana, on the slate, but I don't know if I'm prioritizing it. I'm okay if I land on it. Like I make a lineup, and it's like, oh wow, I even get Joker here, and everything else looks pretty good, and I'm just going to move along. You can't play
Indiana. Indiana only has one center though, because everybody else you can play power forward. I guess we just lost Potter, but I mean it's only Jackson.
Yeah, Huff, you can play power forward. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I mean I'm just saying I'm not. It's just they're not as loaded really at that center position as you would think. There's not like two just straight centers on DK. It's only Jackson, who is very important player on the slate. Isaiah Jackson, to be clear.
I also like that. I like Bam. I like Bobby Porter if we lose Bobby Portis, especially. I think Nurkic is a great play.
Yes.
So
yep.
It's tough. Building lineups. It doesn't feel like you have to get too goofy in your lineups today. Like, don't try to tell a story. Somebody gets 20 minutes or something like that. That's not the way you're making lineups. Jalen Smith. Yeah,
you do not need to be chasing fringy value at all on the slate.
All right, just kind of looking at our update here. Who is Kashad Johnson? Is he somebody that's on the Pacers I'm not aware of? That's on the. Do we know, or is that just somebody else on a different team? Okay, the guy in Miami. Never mind. Okay, sorry, I got thrown off there for a second. We are giving him a baby projection. Anything else here as far as Denver, Detroit? Doesn't sound like we're terribly enthused about this one.
Nope.
Second clue for Television Tuesday: get that Discord channel. Be the first to tell me what TV show we're talking about. Get yourself week free of RG Premium. All the sports, all the bells, all the whistles. optimizer, the articles, the tags, the lineup HQ. Scotch is the second clue round. And Scotch, tell me what TV show we're talking about. The last game. So we're going to be locking up players at 7 o'clock. There's no way to avoid it. Last game at 7 o'clock is Utah and the Pacers. 232.5 is the total. The Jazz, again, they're 2-point favorites here at the Pacers, despite being the Jazz. It's high and it's tight, just the way we love it here. And it's cheap. It's high, it's tight, and it's cheap, especially on the Pacers side. Pacers, they're going to rest a bunch of dudes. If you missed it, no Pascal. They played last night. No Andrew Nembhard. No Timothy John McConnell. He's out. He's old. And they're tanking. Benedict Mathurin, Obi Toppin, we're not going to see for a long time. Who knows when. Micah Potter was just officially ruled out with his illness. Did I say Naismith? Anybody who's like decently good on the Pacers is not playing basketball tonight. They're down to 9. We're expecting Quentin Jackson, who might be the best point per dollar play on the board potentially on a slate that has a great amount of point per dollar plays on the board. Furphy, Shepard, Walker, and Huff is our projected starting lineup. Isaiah Jackson is like really, really good fantasy per minute, and he also can get a bunch of fouls really quickly. I think he's really interesting for tournaments. Cam Jones is probably interesting for tournaments. I don't think I'm getting there in my first couple lineups, but he's basically the floor, and maybe he plays 25 minutes or so. Maybe you can tell yourself that story. Utah down to 8 bodies. Keontae George is out. Harkless is out. Kevin Love, he's ill. Niang was just traded. Nurkic is officially available. And again, they've yet to I guess this would get updated at some point. This is a 5/15 injury report. I thought they might consider calling up Shibwe, but that's does not appear to be happening. Keep an eye on that. But we're down to 8 on Utah. I will throw it to you. There's all sorts of fantasy goodness here. Where do you want to start?
Yeah, I mean, this is obviously the most important game of the entire night. Indiana is just going to be. We're going to be playing. You're going to be playing. I'd say at least 3. I'd be making a rule to play 3 in every lineup tonight. I think you could get up to like 5. To be honest with you, they just have to. They have to play. They only have 9 bodies now, so it's definitely. I mean, I ran Sims before the show. They're kind of. I have to update them because we've had news, but I was getting to like 95% Quentin Jackson at 3,100, fills that point guard and shooting guard spot on DK. So obviously, he's like your first guy in, and then Isaiah Jackson, who should be coming off the bench. He's a fantastic play here on the slate. And then it's like you're going to be mixing and matching Jay Huff, Jarris Walker, Ben Shepard. Did you say that you're going to play some Cam Jones? I didn't quite.
I think he's just like more of a large field thing because we don't know how many minutes he's going to play. It's hard to project. Yeah. I think we're giving him like 15 or so. But what if the split is closer to 50-50 with Jackson and Jones? Again, the Pacers don't want to win this game, so like they might do weird.
They're still gonna be out there playing. I mean, there's only so many. I mean, they still have 115 implied team total.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, as far as the split, we're giving Jackson 28. We're giving Jones 21. What if Jones plays 24, 25, and Jackson plays 26? Something like that.
Right. No, I know. It's tough.
And I can't say with confidence that our projection team is awesome, but there's some guesswork involved here. And it's also
definitely a fragile situation. Like it's pretty hard to kind of decipher situations like this. There's no question about it. And it's going to be a super, super popular game. So I would still, you're still going min 3 though, right? Like you got to play.
I think so.
Guys, I would assume.
They're just so cheap. That's the thing.
They're just so cheap. They have to play. It's a fantastic matchup. Like I know that they don't want to win, but it's still a great matchup. So it's pretty tough here. I think the other side of this game is where things get really interesting because again, it's a situation where guys have to play. They're not as cheap, but they are favored to win here. They have 117 implied team total, which is in line with the other teams on the slate, if not on the higher end. So this is a fantastic spot. Isaiah Collier, I think he's got to be like a core, like pretty close to a core play here. They basically have no other ball handlers, primary ball handlers. So
Correct.
yeah. So I mean, we haven't projected for like tons of minutes. He's going to be the guy out there. So he's definitely going to be a core play for me. And then I think you briefly mentioned it here on the show, but Jusuf Nurkic, I think, is fantastic. Like, he doesn't project amazing, but this is an eruption spot for him, in my opinion. And I think if he's going to go kind of under-owned here or not going to be super popular, he's a guy that I want to get overweight to in GPPs.
Yeah, we've seen him have some absolutely monster games, and they've let him play 30+ minutes in several games this year. Like, either they sit him out and don't let him play at all, but they let him go. They'll let him go for 30+ minutes, and if he gets 30+ minutes here against this whatever they're throwing out here, this Indiana front line, and if our ownership is really low on him, I'm kind of I want to say shocked, like 1% we're looking at for Nurkic. It's like that seems incredibly low. And again, we kind of ran down. There's Huff, there's Cat, there's Bam, there's Joker, Isaiah Jackson on the other side of this game, Bobby Portis potentially. Some of these guys are power forward eligible, but at some point you got to use your C spots, and the center spot is pretty loaded. I think Filipowski is also pretty interesting. If you want to bet against Nurkic in some sense, Filipowski is an interesting hedge. Kind of a bet against Markkanen as well. Like, do they give Markkanen and Filipowski full minutes? They do. I think they're really interesting. It's the thing. It's unprojectable. These teams don't want to win, and when we say, like, when the players are out there, they're trying their ass. They're trying. They're trying 100%. They're not like shooting in their own basket. They're not missing shots on purpose. A lot of these guys just want to stick around in the league for another year. Some of these players, so they're all trying. It's just, will the coaches put them in a position to actually, play? And sometimes, now that we're down to like 8 players and 9 players, you got to play 5 on each side. That's my understanding. We learned that with Hoosiers, right? They tried to get away with that in Hoosiers, and couldn't play with 4. Could not play with 4 unless they let them play. I don't recall, but it's been a long time since I've seen Hoosiers. Not the point. But yeah, I think Nurkic is an incredible tournament play, Tim, at 1%. If that's what we're looking at.
Yeah,
I feel like that's
even if he's it's good. I think it's going to change, but I don't think it's going to get north of 5.
Maybe not.
Like so like I think it's really not going to make that much of a difference if it does go up a little bit. I don't think he's going to be that popular, which to me is kind of surprising. Just because, I mean, I know that there's some chalkier centers, but I really like him today. So I think I might even just throw him in my single entry team.
Are we willing to play 4 Pacers? You said minimum 3.
Yes,
4?
I absolutely. You are absolutely allowed to play. And then we do have another question from this game. Is Ethan Thompson viable? I think so. I don't think I'd play him in 3 max, but if you're playing large field stuff, I think you can include Ethan Thompson in that pool. But again, it's going to be hard to kind of figure out the minutes here. But I could see him being a decent play.
I was trying to think of rules. Would you play all 3 of Huff and Walker and Jackson together? I might cut that down to 2. Or would you play Huff and Jackson together? I think you can, just because they're so cheap. But do you have any rules you've considered for the Pacers? I would say this: Jackson and Jones, I would split to 1. If you're considering Jones, I probably wouldn't play Jackson.
I was just kind of thinking that same thing with like Ethan Thompson and Ben Shepherd. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I would separate Isaiah Jackson and Jay Huff.
See, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. I'm not really sure either. I would consider that rule. Yeah, I'm fine with separating Quentin Jackson and Cam Jones. It's tough. And then you just kind of let Jarris Walker and Furphy kind of just stay there.
I was trying to do some court IQ stuff, and it's just impossible when you take everybody off the court. You're going to get no sample. But, We've seen Thompson in 303 minutes is 0.65 fantasy points per minute, 14% usage. Not excited about that. Jones, a 15% usage guy, 0.65 fantasy points per minute. So I'm not excited about either one of those guys. Again, they're going to play some. Shepard also pretty terrible, 0.66, but he plays a lot of minutes with his starters. Furphy, 0.73, not great. The most appealing ones. What is Jackson at? Quentin Jackson, 0.87. I think it'd be higher than that, to be honest. Huff, 1.1, right? He's just an awesome fantasy point minute player. If he plays 30 minutes, he should full on smash here. Walker, 0.83 is pretty solid as well. Quentin Jackson, 0.87 in his 346 minutes. And trying to find some on-off stuff. 20% usage is pretty good, too. One of the bigger usage players. So if I kind of go through, the usage stuff on Court IQ, Tim, right, starting from the top to the bottom, I'm going to go from the top to the bottom and tell me when we finally find a player that's actually playing. Pascal, McConnell, Nemhard, Matherin, Toppin. Is Mac McClung playing tonight? No, Mac McClung. Raji, remember Ray J. Dennis? Remember him? Quentin Jackson is the biggest usage guy of the people still standing at 20.2%. I think I assume that's one of the reasons why he's projecting really well. Also, he's super cheap. Also, they're facing the Jazz. Give me your
so we could do have another question in chat. Does it matter if the value plays on the Pacers start? Plenty of minutes to go to reserves. I don't think it matters a ton. I'm not expecting anything like huge. I suppose you never really know, especially in tankathon games like this. But let's say Jay Huff doesn't start and Isaiah Jackson does. I don't think that doesn't really change a whole heck of a lot for me. Does it for you, Dean?
I don't think so. Again, they're down to 9. And again, we saw this the other day. Last game, Jay Huff started in a different situation. There was more bodies, but we saw Jay Huff start and play 10 minutes. And the previous game, he didn't start and he played 30 minutes. So what are we doing? I don't know. Like I even said in the show the other day, I think I said it yesterday. Well, Jay Huff is starting, and I don't know if that's a good thing. It wasn't a good thing.
It wasn't a good thing. I ended up slotting him in. I think that was last night, and it was terrible.
Third clue for Television Tuesday. Third clue. First two, round, Scotch, get that Discord channel. There are a lot of guesses coming on through. Bar Rescue, South Park, Succession, Cheers, Shifting Gears, Billions, Walker, Texas Ranger, Chuck, Wheel of Fortune. Maybe this will get people there. It's Castle. Castle is the third clue. It's not How I Met Your Mother, or Community, or Roundhouse. What's Roundhouse? I don't know what that is. All right. Next game up, it is the Lakers. The Lakers in Brooklyn, 221.5 is the total. Brooklyn is a 7-point dog here. And, in this kind of slate, I think you can just kind of cross out some teams. I think you can. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to cross out Brooklyn. I don't know if you have any interest in Brooklyn. I'll go ahead and get the most updated injury reports. But, as far as the Nets tonight, taking on the Lakers, Clowney is available now. Zaire Williams is available now. They're as healthy as they've been in a while. The Lakers, Ronnie James is available with his leg. And Austin Reeves. We might finally see the return of Austin Reeves with his calf. Of course, he would be on a cap. I think this game is kind of clearly Luka. I don't want to say Luka or bust, but Luka, you can get some LeBron, but it's basically Luka or bust for me. I guess you can play some MPJ if you want to bank on him scoring 30-plus points, which you can, but I don't see a heck of a lot in this game considering the rest of the slate.
Yeah, given the size of this slate and all the other really, really strong value that we have here, I don't see any reason to play any Brooklyn. I am waiting for them to kind of maybe free Cam Thomas one of these days. I think that's an interesting name to kind of keep in mind, but he's just not playing the minutes. So I just don't think you can play him on the slate. And I'm not getting any other Brooklyn pieces. And then the Lakers, I didn't get to any LeBron. I'm not saying that you can't play him. I think it really is just Luka or bust. I don't know. Maybe some DeAndre Ayton, but center's pretty strong. So I think that would only be in a 150 set. But I think that's it, really. I think you're muted, Dean.
Rookie mistake.
Oh, that was the big mute right there. That was that was a super mute.
Well, Steve has the it's in big enough letters that it's warranted though. It only counts as one whether it's super or just the standard, but it definitely was a super mute. I was trying to make the point that it's very easy to get the Luka, but he does cost you some point guards. We love Quentin Jackson, we love Collier. We'll talk about Dosunmu. We'll talk about Rollins. I think Flag's really interesting tonight. We'll talk about that. But as far as big spends, but do you think Luka is going to be on your main lineup? Are you going to have one of Luka or Joker? It sounds like you like Luka over Joker if you're picking one. You don't have to get one. Do you think Luka is going to make your main lineup?
Yeah, so we also just got a question in chat, like, are we going to be playing Luka in cash games? I don't think I'm going to, but I can definitely see if people want to do that. I'm not saying it's a bad play, but I'm leaning I'm not going to be playing him right now. I'm probably not going to be playing him in my primary single entry team, most likely. I just kind of like this 10K, 8K kind of range a little bit more. I'm probably going to be playing Nurkic, so that kind of makes me kind of have to go a little bit more balanced too. So yeah, I mean you can, but I don't think I'm going to.
I did get Luka on 18% of my lineups on DK and 10% on FanDuel. I added some variants and such. So, I mean, I'm not going to be mad at you if you're playing with your cash lineups. He's probably not somebody I would force in. Like right now, the one I have is the number one optimal is the 2 Knicks and 4 Pacers, 1 Jasmine, and Jalen Johnson. So like 3 stars. You can get 3 stars very easy. You got 3 stars and 5 players from that nonsense game we just talked about. And that's what you're going to see. Like you got to pick the right stars. But you're going to get 4 or 5 players from that Indiana-Utah game surrounded by it's stars, scrubs, stars, and Pacers, basically, is the slate. We do have a winner in the Discord channel, it looks like. Yes. This is a name that I've seen before. Shout out to Allen's Club. Allen's Club taking down today's Television Tuesday in 3. 3, I think, was par. I think we said 3 is par today. We'll still play it out for fun. Get yourself a week free of RG Premium. Producer Steve will slide in, juice you up with some premium momentarily. We're moving on from Lakers in Brooklyn, I assume?
Yep.
Okay, 7:30 game, another 7:30 game. It's Atlanta and Miami Heat. The Miami Heat trying to make some trades, theoretically, doing some positioning. I'm not saying that's the reason why Wiggins isn't playing tonight. Wiggins ain't playing tonight. And Powell ain't playing tonight. The Heat are home to the Hawks. 237.5 is a total of high and tight, right? So a great environment. We love this number, 237.5. And Miami is just a 1.5 point favorite. As far as who's in and out, again, for Miami, there's no Norm Powell. There's no Wiggins. Ty Larson officially available. They throw a lot of available guys on the injury report. Ty Larson still, he's got that finger. It's been on there for a while. David Mitchell's been back with his shoulder. He's available. Nikola Jovic is available with his hip. Jaime Jaquez, he's available with his knee. He's also available via trade if anybody's interested. And Yakachonis is also available, possibly also available via trade. Everybody's available. Let's be honest. For the right piece. Tyler Hero is still out with he's got a rib. He's got more than one. Porzingis is back. The Zinger's back. He's got that Achilles. We've not seen him for a while. He's good to go. We're not projecting him to start. I would be shocked if he played more than like 25 minutes. We probably are projecting him around 20?
18.
Yeah.
18.
Okay. Yeah. So he's we have not seen him in a bit. And Okongwu is still, he's got that it says dental plan. Yeah, he's got his teeth were jacked up a couple games ago, not quite fixed. So he's still out. We are projecting Gay to start alongside Jalen Johnson. Jalen Johnson feels like a really interesting spend up on this slate, and I like Bam too. Those are my 2 favorite pieces in this game, but I think that's going to be the field as well. How you feeling about the Hawks and the Heat?
Yeah, I absolutely love this game. It's going to be, for me right now, the decision. I'm 100% playing Jalen Johnson tonight in single entry cash games everywhere. Like he's the guy that I'm going to be spending 10-2 on DK. I absolutely love this spot here. Does not make any difference that Zinger's back. I don't think that's going to have any kind of anything to do with Jalen Johnson. It's not gonna hurt him at all. So he's my favorite kind of spend up play. He's one of the reasons why I'm not building out my team to be playing guys like Luka or Jokic, is because I'm just going to save the money and play Jalen Johnson in a fantastic game environment. I think he's got 65 plus in him tonight. So he's my favorite. He's kind of my favorite spend up play. The player that I'm having kind of trouble with is Bam. Yeah, it's a fantastic spot. It's definitely, I mean, they're short bodies. He's gonna be very popular. I think he's going to be one of the chalkier players on the slate, and that this is one of these spots where I'm initially looking to get different by playing Nurkic over Bam at the center position. That's one of those pivots. You know, I try to make one or two pretty big pivots in single entry stuff, and then I tend to play a lot of chalk. And I think this might be one of those spots where I'm going to look to make that pivot and play Nurkic over Bam. And now, could that bite me? Absolutely. I think he's a fantastic floor play. I think he's a good play in cash games, but I'm a little bit hesitant, and I think I want to get different in GPPs.
You said so no Bam and no Cat. So in single entry is definitely different. I do agree. Right. That most single entry lineups are going to have one of those two as one of their centers on TK. Like, of course, you're going to have some of the, I assume, either Huff or Jackson probably to pair. Huff, you can play a power forward. But, yeah, I feel it's a pretty decent thought that Bam or Cat, one of those two. And I love that, too. We build our single entry lineup similar, right, where you don't have to go too far. You don't have to get too goofy, but just make one or two big changes. And and those guys, you know, the ones that you're, you know, that are not going to be rostered, that they have to play well to make a difference. I did kick off Wiggins and Powell and Hero, you know, and biggest usage bump for Davion Mitchell. I still don't think I'm playing Davion Mitchell. 5% usage bump. Larson 3.8. I like Larson a little bit. I don't know if I'm getting there, but like if I have like 5K left and he's okay, I'm not going to blow my lineup up. I'm fine getting there. Ware's just been buried. I have a hard time seeing him getting let loose. Haka is 2.3% as far as usage stuff as well. Bam has seen a bump in it's per 36, 3.7 fantasy points more in per 36. So I think he's got to be getting an assist boost. No, what is his boost coming from? Rebounding? Not really. I'm not really sure what it is that's getting there. Maybe he's taking a few more shots, I suppose. I'm not sure. It's the two fastest teams, Atlanta and Miami. So the environment is awesome, and it's just not the two fastest teams. It's the closest game of the night, or one of the closest games of the night. 1.5 points.
This is a really good game to get like a 2-1 or something like that, like some kind of game stack here. Like you said, really, really close spread on fantastic game environment. Pelly Larson, I didn't even talk about him yet, but I think he's really a really, really strong play. 5,400 shooting guard, small forward. I don't think he's going to be super chalky. You know, it's not going to be just because all that Indiana chalk. So you got guys like Jarris Walker who are going to be right there in that same price point, who are going to be much higher owned. I think Pelly Larson is a really strong kind of contrarian value play. I see a couple of people talking about him in chat. I think he's great. If you want to play him, I say go for it.
Let's talk about Boston and Dallas. 223.5 is the total. This is the first half of the Peacock doubleheader. Boston and Dallas, they are a 7-point favorite at the Mavs. This is 8 o'clock, by the way, the first of the 8 o'clock set. Boston is fully healthy with the exception of, like, you know, they just traded away Anthony Simons. So he's not, you know, and Vuk's not going to be there just yet, of course, physical. Chris Boucher is out for personal reasons. That doesn't matter. Moussa Cisse is available. I guess he's called up from the G League. Still no Anthony Davis. Still no Derek Lively. He's out with his foot. Nembhard is also got the call from the G League. He's good to go. D'Angelo Russell's doubtful. Doesn't matter. PJ Washington's out for concussion. And Brandon Williams are presuming he's out with his leg. So that does make Nembhard being somebody that's going to get some more run. I do think Flag is a really interesting play. It's just not going to get played. We've seen the ceiling he has. You know, he's going to be asked to do everything here. He's one of those guys, Tim. We talk about like the 5 or 10 percenters in single entry. So what if you build a team around Cooper Flag? Like nobody's doing that. I'm thinking about it. I'm not saying I'm going to, but it's in the conversation in my head. And Boston's fully healthy. This is one of those games where you can, if you want Jaylen Brown, you can have Jaylen Brown, but there's nothing that says you have to play Jaylen Brown tonight. Ditto White, ditto Pritchard. How do you feel about the Boston and Dallas? This game to me is one of the worst on the slate.
Yeah, from a game perspective, this is not a very good game. Like I would be close to excluding this entire game. Yes, you can play some Jaylen Brown. I think if you want to get super contrarian and play Cooper Flag in single entry, it's okay. It's not somebody that I currently was going with because it's just I think that the matchup is just not great, and I don't love this game, and it's they only have I think it's like a 106 or maybe it's a 108 team total. It's pretty low. But yeah, you're right. Flag will have to do everything for this team. If they could somehow stay with Boston, Cooper Flag will likely have a really, really strong game. He's just not for me tonight. There really isn't much to this game that I'm getting to really at all. Outside of Jaylen Brown, I'm not going to be playing any Derek White. I'm not going to be playing any Peyton Pritchard. So I think that's really it for me. I don't know. Yeah, it's not the slate to go for guys like Max Christie. You know what I mean? Like you're not playing any. There's no reason to do that. I don't think there's any reason to play Najee Marshall. Like you're just not playing any. I just don't think you're getting to any of these fringe guys.
And I also want to note about the Flag.
Porzingis is out.
Oh, he was hardly in. They say he's ill. Now they're saying illness. Jesus, this guy with his illness.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's terrible. That's a real illness.
It's legit. Yeah. But like
it's
he was done with
sad.
Achilles before, and now, man, it's just his career has been that's a bummer. And by the way, doesn't hurt Jalen Johnson. Doesn't hurt Gay.
No, I don't think it's going to move the needle much. Oh yeah, Mohamed Gay, I think he might end up being a pretty strong value now too.
They still have Koloko. Jalen can play some 5. How many? We weren't giving Zinger that many more minutes. We were giving him 18, so we might see a few more. What were we giving to Gay? We were giving 23. He probably gets like 26 or 27. We already given 35 with Jalen Johnson. He might get 36. I don't know. Is there anybody else that would kind of jump in? Newell might get it. Was Newell being projected at all? He might get some run now. But you're not playing these guys. Obviously, you're not playing. If we were giving 1 minute, it's like kind of a hedge minute to Newell, and he's probably going to get more now, but not to the point where it matters. I was going to mention about Flag, and this isn't like chasing, but just to kind of. He has the ceiling. Last 2 games, 38 minutes, 39 minutes. Jason Kidd don't care. 70 points, dropped to 70 burger against Charlotte and 60 against Houston. Tough defense. Like somebody said in chat, well, Boston's tough. So is Houston. But he's doing everything. He's taking a pile of shots. He's rebounding. He's playing some points. It's on Peacock. Does that matter? I don't know. National TV game. Is that? Yeah, we'll call it national TV. Sure, why not? Any more news trickling on through? Christian Brown, did we say he's officially in? He's in for Denver. I don't think it matters, but good for him.
I didn't think that mattered enough to even bring it up because the slate's just so it's so juicy, for value. It's like I didn't think that really mattered.
I just remember when he came back from his injury before, he was a disaster. Like he must have, I guess he was pushing it, and then it was just so bad when he came back. He played a bunch of minutes and just was horrendous. And hopefully he's back to where we want him to be. 2 more games to go. I did want to mention PickLabs, and we're going to show off what PickLabs is. We talk about it all the time. We want to show the people what it actually is. Well, it's the newest RotoGrinders feature. It lets you scan the best player prop and pick 'em bets in just seconds. Everything is broken down for you from edges and win rates to value. It is a clean board. We're going to be showing off that clean board here in just a second, which shows the plays that actually stand out across sports books. Also sites like Underdog and Prize Picks. I believe we're picking DraftKings for the purpose of our screen share. When you see something you like, PickLabs is going to build that slip and send it straight to the book of your choice. RotoGrinders.com/PickLabs. That's where you find it. RotoGrinders.com/PickLabs. I see producer Steve has gotten to the point. He's showing us the best plays in the board. Now you can sort it by sport. Right now, I think we're seeing the best play on the board currently is Drake May over on rushing yards. But you guys yelled at me when I said I'm going to pick Drake May. He said, no, we got to keep it the basketball. I'm like, okay, you're
It's
right.
a basketball show, Dean. It's an NBA show.
I took the L. I said, you know what, you're right. I agreed. I agreed. So, Tim, you want to give me a favorite play? We're linking this one to DraftKings, producer Steve's DK account, and Steve is obligated to bet this too, right? So we got to make sure he gets it.
Steve has to hammer this bet, by the way.
And still, it's not going well.
Yeah, we got to hear all about all the tilting too. Jokic under 18.5 rebounds and assists. Less than. Excuse me.
Yeah, betting against the Joker, man. That's a tough call, but I hear you. What was the bet that I had picked out? I had something and I forgot what it was.
Peyton Watson.
Yeah. We can't do the same team, right?
Less than. Yeah.
There was some that were popping for Peyton Watson. I think it was less
that
than
one. Yeah. Less than 7.5 rebounds and assists.
All right. Do we have to have somebody else on the other side of this game? Can it be a two-person parlay, both from Denver? I feel like you're not allowed to do that. I don't have DK Sportsbook. Do they allow that? I'm not sure. But can we make that happen? Is that something we can do? Can we show the people how that works, Tim? No? Steve? Unless we had a third bet.
So you can do it too. You don't need to.
Okay.
You can do a same game parlay. It could be the same team, and it's just minimum 2 legs. So
do you want to add a third?
Added it right here on the side. So then you can compare odds and check different websites. But for today, we're just going to do DK. I hit play slip. So then it opens up DK right here on the side. It's got it set up for you. Under 18.5, under 7.5. $10 would win you $19.
There you go.
But I'm not logged in. But then you hit place. And it's super easy for you.
That's
I like that. I like that it gives you the you can shop around for the best odds, because that is super important, trying to get as many edges as possible. I know an Underdog, the reason why I asked that question, I don't have access to the DK Sportsbook. I'm in Florida. An Underdog, you're not allowed to pick, 2 players on the same team, and that's it. You gotta like get somebody from another team, or if it's a single game parlay, you gotta get somebody on the other side of that game. So that's why I was asking that question. That did throw me off there for a second. Bang the Drummond says Noto mentioned yesterday there was some free PGA content this week. Anyone know what that is? That is Noto's model. I believe Noto's model is free this week. He talked about it last night. Maybe producer Steve, if you can find that and drop it in the chat for people. I know Noto's going to be on later tonight. I'm not sure if it's published either. It might not be published as yet because golf's not till Thursday morning. But he's got a show tonight with cards at 7:30, 7:15. Steve knows better than I do. 7-ish?
Yeah, this week's the Waste Management Phoenix Open, which is, I know that I hate fun more than anybody else on the planet, but this is the most fun tournament to watch. I think, outside of maybe the Masters, which I love. I love watching the Masters, but this is a very, very fun tournament to watch.
And the key is you go to hole 17, right? Isn't it 17 where everybody's getting slots?
You go to hole 17, you shotgun a beer, and it's like it's crazy. It's not like any kind of traditional golf that you would normally see. It's not like snooty, like it all buttoned up like it typically is. It's not like the Masters, which is very, very. I love the Masters personally, but
if I got tickets to the Waste Management, you want to sit at the hole 17, like you're down.
I would sit down. I would sit at hole 17, definitely, just for the experience. I would do it. Yeah, and traditionally it's always the Super Bowl weekend, right? So this is like always. It is, yeah. I've been to that course. I've been to that course. It's very beautiful there. It's definitely it's a very beautiful place.
Our fourth clue for Tournament Tuesday. What's that? Television Tuesday is sheep. It is scrolling. We already have a winner, but if you're still playing out the string and have a little bit of fun, there you go. Sheep is our fourth clue. We have crunch time coming in 10 minutes, TJ Zwarych, Kirkwood, Kirkdiese, as well as Cheap and Rose as Kevin Roth. They're going to be taking you home, answering all your questions. We have 2 more games to go. I wanted to see what our Atlanta update was. I don't think it's anything significant. Yeah, we're giving Newell 6 minutes now. Coloco 17, not enough to care. Gay 24, I think he might have grabbed an extra minute or 2, but overall, really nothing. Basically nothing. I think Jalen Johnson's rates went up a tick, if I'm not mistaken. So a little bit bigger as far as the projection. Okay. Next game. It is the Bulls. The Bulls and the Bucks. 221.5 is the total. The Bulls are down to 10 because they traded people away. Vuk is finally gone. He's no longer on the team. Kevin Huerter was traded off. Remember Dario Saric was a Bull? He's not a Bull anymore. He's also off the team. What's really important is that Jalen Smith Sticks is questionable with his calf. I think he's a really strong play if he plays. Josh Giddey is still out with that hamstring. Trey Jones is still out, so they're thin on guards. White and Dosunmu both project pretty well. Buzewas, I think, is an interesting tournament play. And Milwaukee, well, all the Antetokounmpos are out. That's both Alex and Giannis. Gary Harris has got the hamstring, so he's not playing. Kevin Porter's out. This is nothing new. However, Bobby Portis is questionable. He's got that hip, and his price is crazy, but he's been pretty awesome. The role is spectacular. We don't know if he's going to play or not, and this is an hour into the slate. He is currently questionable. How are you feeling about the Bucks and the Bulls? If you like Portis, what's the plan if Portis is out? Are we all of a sudden excited about Kyle Kuzma? Who we excited? I mean, Pete Nance. I don't think we need Pete Nance, but he probably gets a.
It's not Pete Nance.
Yeah,
that isn't anybody. It isn't anybody that I'm particularly interested in. I would say that I do have a lot of interest in Miles Turner. If Portis were to sit, I would have more. I kind of like Ryan Rollins now. I'd have a lot more interest if Portis were to sit in Ryan Rollins. So I think Kuzma's okay. I think it's kind of a weird slate for him. It's kind of a weird price point for him. I don't think he's anybody that you really necessarily need to flock to if Portis were to sit. But I do think Miles Turner is somebody that I have a ton of interest in. He is definitely somebody that I'd be getting to if we got that news.
Yeah, I was saying pre-show, the one knock on Turner is that Vukovic is no longer, you're not getting Vukovic defense, lack thereof. He's, we love picking on Vuk. He's gone. If we lose Portis, we have Turner projected for 33 minutes and a 35-36 median projection on FanDuel and DK, which is pretty strong. Again, the only thing that makes him not an auto play or anywhere near that is how strong the center position is.
Yeah, it's hard not to lock up your center spot before this.
Yes.
Now, yeah. I feel like this Portis situation is interesting because it's a midday downgrade. You know, I think he sits.
And Milwaukee doesn't want to win.
Right. And so it becomes this question of like, are you going to bypass some of these centers that we really, really like? If this news comes after a lock, are you going to leave that spot open for Turner? This is one of the reasons why I'm not as high on Bam and Cat, really, is because I'm really considering what to do with the center spot here if that news comes post 7:00 Eastern. So it's kind of an interesting decision because I think Turner is a really, really fantastic play if Portis sits.
Did you see this the other day, Tim? I think most NBA coaches have evolved. Just like in the NFL, they've evolved in the NFL. Wasn't that long ago where they're punting on 4th and 1 on the 50-yard line? Like, oh my God, what if we don't get it? Like, analytics tells you you're supposed to go for it basically every single time. Most NBA coaches have evolved to the point of like, you don't have to automatically bench your players when they get 2 quick fouls or 3 quick fouls. There's no rule that says you get 3 fouls in the first half. You must get 3 in the second half, and that equals 6, and you're gone. The Bucks were down like 20 points to Washington. Rollins had 3 fouls, and Doc Rivers is like, oh no, we cannot risk Ryan Rollins getting the 4th foul.
Right.
And he benched him for the entire entire second quarter. Like, and you're not going to believe this. They lost. And you're also not going to believe this. Ryan Rollins didn't foul out. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's a difficult thing when coaches do that for sure. It's very frustrating.
Yeah. I mean, I don't pretend to know more about basketball than Doc Rivers, but I know about math. And the math says that Ryan Rollins is not going to foul out. I don't care that he has 3 fouls in the first half. And if he does, okay, that's right where you're at right now. You're already benching the guy. You're fouling him out yourself. There's my soapbox for the day. Yeah, Bucks, Bulls. Who's your favorite Bull?
I mean, do I have to have one?
Yeah, I mean, I think White is interesting. I think DeSumo is interesting.
I'm
Jalen
not.
Smith is pretty interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. I mean, it's certainly okay. I understand that Kobe White, his usage is fantastic. I know that we're losing Vucevic here, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to play him. Like, he just has not shown me anything here. So it's a really tough spot for me personally. Again, kind of a weird price point. I either kind of want to go up a little bit higher, or just go lower with my salary cap. So he's somebody that I'm personally going to be leaving off. I don't really want to play Jalen Smith. I know that he does have power forward eligibility, but it's it's not something that I love here. So, it's okay. Are we confirmed that Smith is in, that he's playing?
No, he's questionable, but there's a lot of questionables in this block. We'll talk about OKC in a second. Portis as well. He's kind of useful because you can sort of if adjustments are necessary, he could be a piece. If he's in, if Portis is out, we'll talk about the Thunder. I'm not sure if you're putting these Thunder guys actually in. You're probably pivoting to them if whoever's left standing, if enough guys are ruled out. But
yeah, so if we lose Jalen Smith, Mari Doneasy just said it in YouTube chat. I was just going to bring this up. What about Patrick Williams if Jalen Smith sits?
So, is he better than Huff? Is he better than Jackson? Probably not.
Right, probably not. Yeah.
And those spots are probably already claimed. But he also could be useful if somehow Chet and Hartenstein are both out and SGA is in, and you have a spot and you need if you need a punt, I think he could be a useful punt if we lose. There's just too many moving parts to kind of dig into it and play every single scenario out. But yeah, Chicago's got 10, possibly 9 if they lose Jalen Smith. And did we have an if-then set up for that, Tim?
For Jalen Smith?
Yeah, so we do. And yeah, Patrick Williams will project for 26, 25 fantasy points, 32 minutes. DeSumo, 35, 34. White, 39, 36. Vandal, DK. Buzeos will be a positive play. Kyle Moore is going to get some run. I can't imagine playing him, but just he looks like he's going to get some run tonight. I think I like White, DeSumo, and even Buzeos a little bit. I think Jalen Smith, I'm not leaving a light on him for necessarily, but if I land on him and he's playing, I'm good with it.
There is Kobe White trade rumor talk, though.
Yeah, they're probably not done. Chicago's probably not done. Let's knock out this last game. Tim, I realize you have a heart out as well. Crunch time should be coming here momentarily. This Orlando OKC game is tricky because, a lot of unknowns. We kind of touched on it. 220.5 is a total. OKC is an 8.5-point favorite, but I think it's kind of easy from the Orlando side. Franz is still out, but I don't think I'm playing anybody on the Magic unless I have to pivot into stuff, based upon Shea is currently questionable, Hartenstein questionable, Holmgren questionable. This is the front half of back-to-back, and they're taking the Spurs tomorrow night, so they're going to rest somebody here almost definitely. All the Jalen Williams, the good Jalen Williams is out. The not as good Jalen Williams is questionable with his shoulder. AJ Mitchell also out too, but I don't really know what we can do with the Thunder right now. As of right now, I'm just basically staying away from this game. And if things open up, if I can pivot to, but as of this moment, I don't think I'm playing anybody in this game.
As of this moment, I don't have anybody in this game, but that could change really, really quick. I'm not playing anyone from Orlando. I think basically unless there's some kind of huge breaking news, but this Oklahoma City side is pretty tough. Just because if we lose SGA, if we lose Chet, we lose some of these questionable guys like Hartenstein. Guys like Kenrich Williams, I think would end up being really, really strong value plays. We have an if-then set up if the whole cast of characters for the Thunder are out, and he would be a top value. I mean, he really would.
Your spots are already claimed.
Right. No, I know. I think this is such an interesting little wrinkle of the slate because he would be a really fantastic pivot off of some of that Indiana stuff. So it's just if you want to gamble that some of these guys will sit. So that's like an interesting little piece. I think it's tough in 3-max though. It's tough in single entry because if these guys don't sit, you're going to be in a world of hurt. So it's you definitely have to take a calculated risk if you want to save some spots for this Oklahoma City stuff.
Tim, I want to get your plums, and then I'll get you out of here, and I'll tell the people about today's Television Tuesday, and we'll get crunch time in here. But give me your plums, and then I know you got to get out of here. Appreciate you sticking on for an hour and 15 minutes. I think you have some hockey stuff to dig into, I would imagine. You got some basketball, basketball lineups to build. So give me the plums, and you can go on your way.
I'm going to go Yusuf Nurkic as my plum play. We've been talking about him all show. I think he's great as a run back with all that Indiana chalk, and I do not think he's going to be popular at all. So I think he's a good pivot off of Cat, good pivot off of Bam, and he's a great run back with that Indiana chalk.
I love that call. I think that's a spectacular call. All right, Tim, I'm going to tell the people about today's Television Tuesday, and then we'll segue into crunch time. The last clue was scrolling. It was betray. Tim, you got to go. I don't want to keep you. I don't want to keep you.
Good luck, everybody. Thanks, team.
Appreciate it, Tim. All right. Crunch time coming here in just a second, but the last clue was betray. First 5 clues were as follows: round, scotch, castle, sheep, betray. Round was in reference to, in this TV show, the cast gets around a giant round table. Scotch was in reference to where this show takes place. Castle, more specifically, in reference to where the show takes place. And sheep, in this country where it takes place, sheep are actually more popular than people. There's 6.5 million sheep and 5.4 million people. We're talking, of course, betray really is the crux of this TV show. Traders. We're talking about traders. Traders, round table, Scotch in reference to Scotland. Castle, it takes place in Andros Castle. And again, sheep are abound. They're just kind of meandering. That's my understanding in Scotland. I haven't been. I'll just take the internet's word for it. And then betray, it is a game about betrayal. All right. Shout out to Alan's Club who took this down. Let's do it. Let's segue to crunch time. We have Roth, Kirkwood, TJ. Roth, crunch time. Let's do it. TJ, Roth, Kirkwood, how are things? Roth, happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday to you. I second what Gregorius the Wise said in the chat, which is, what the hell is Traders?
It's a show on Peacock, and I'm told it's spectacular. I've not seen it just yet. It's in my queue. But anybody that watches it, anybody that sees it, says it's incredible. It's a game show about the sea. It's like, God, what is the game called? You played different versions of it, but now it's a TV show. TJ, come on. You're aware of Traders, I imagine? Yes?
Yeah.
Werewolf.
Like Survivor? Isn't it like Survivor I heard or something?
No, it's sort of in
Werewolf.
that style. What's that?
It's Werewolf.
Okay, I think it's like Mafia. Like it has different names.
Game.
Okay, Mafia and Werewolf are the same thing? If you know Mafia, it's similar to that. But I can't say it's good or bad, but I've been told it's spectacular. I've been told people said I would like it. They know me. So, yeah, it's in the queue. But apparently it's a fun show.
Why do you have the Don Zimmer Pedro choke behind you? I was there in that right in front of me. I was in the first base home plate line right down there, and when it was so much fun.
I had no idea you were there, but that's just a fun coincidence. Yeah, you were rooting on for Pedro to knock out a 70-year-old man.
The guy asked for it.
He really did.
He absolutely did. It's like you're gonna play with the big boys, okay? You know, guy dies, he dies. If he dies, he dies. You know,
Ivan Drago. Oh, that's good news. That's big news. Doc says that Bobby Portis is likely out tonight, but it sounds like it's a game time decision. Yeah, midday downgrade and that report. I'm going to assume that Portis is out. And oh boy, you guys have a fun one. A lot of stuff to break down. Tons of moving parts. Enjoy talking about the Pacers, the Bucks, the Jazz, the Bulls, and Stars. That's the slate. All right, Roth, it's all yours. There's a lot to break down, so I'll just get out of here. It's crunch time. 41 minutes. You got Roth. Go for it.
Let's do it. Welcome to it, ladies and gents. You know the drill. It's crunch time CT. That's what the cool kids call it. Dean just hanging out, and he can't figure out how to leave. He's old. He's where's the button? Where's the button to get on out of here? Welcome to it. Two of the sharpest minds in the industry hanging out with us. TJ Zwarych in the house. He is a DFS superstar and a big movie and TV enthusiast as well. What up, TJ?
Yeah, looking, we got a wild slate. This is crazy. Like, just the most value, I think, of any slate this season with a whole bunch of spend ups as well. It's a Roth slate if I've ever seen one.
I like to hear that. Trade deadline things are starting to happen. When is the actual trade deadline ending? Because I feel like
Thursday.
it's just now beginning.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Thursday.
Well,
okay. All right. So you got a little bit of time.
The Jazz just
I believe 3 p.m. Eastern.
got the creme de la creme. The Jazz did. They got the Triple J.
Dude. I say no. I don't even want to get in on my hate of that man. We got Kirkdiese in the house. He of the damaged pinky. Did we get some good news on the pinky?
We're benign.
Hey, I love to hear that. Now I can make fun of you.
Yeah, we're just waiting for it to heal up and then nothing to grow back.
Hey, good for you. I'm happy to hear it. We did get some news. Bobby Portis, I think we just saw doubtful. Was it game time decision? Doubtful. It was something not good. It was something probably not playing. So let's dive into what we do have here. TJ, do you care to give me kind of a rundown, or is there too much stuff happening to even do that?
Indiana, Utah. That's basically it.
Then there's a line or two.
Each of these teams have 8 guys who are on the roster, healthy, dressed, ready to rock. And so that's mainly where we're going. Spot number 2 is Milwaukee and Chicago. Outside of, it's a 8-game slate. I have my rule set in Lineup HQ right now where every single team on this slate, except for Utah, Indiana, Chicago, Milwaukee, maximum 1 from those teams, because there's literally just 4 teams we want to load up on like crazy. Everybody else, I'm going max 1.
Okay, very good. Easy enough. Well, let's dive right into it. Apparently, there is a lot we can do. And yes, 3 first-round picks for Triple J. Luka got 1, and a superstar who never plays. Just
what a steal!
What a
Triple J's. 3, only 3. What a steal!
Oh my God, Kirk, cut it out. Let's dive into this.
That lineup is actually pretty good. I think
it is.
Keontae, Ace Bailey, Lauri Markkanen, Triple J, and then Walker Kessler / Nurk / whatever they end up doing after this season.
They're in really good position for draft picks this year as well. I don't know about beyond that.
The top 5.
Anyways, so let's talk about what we're doing. We like to start at DraftKings. We like to start at point guard. And we also like to start by thanking everybody who's watching for hitting the thumbs up. Your thumbs ups, your likes, your comments, all of that helps distribute us to the masses, to the world. And, we're trying to take over the world one viewer at a time. So make sure you're hitting that thumbs up for us. We really do appreciate it. Kirk, what are we doing at point on DraftKings?
This is one of those beautiful slates, Roth, where I'm going to be saying some guys and you're going to be like, who?
Oh, I like that. That's fun. Yeah, we're like, is that a real person?
Yeah. So the depth on the Pacers is just gone. And we've got now a backcourt that's going to feature guys that are 3K for a full game against the Utah Jazz. So it's hard to see a scenario where either of these guys struggle too much. And one of them would be Quentin Jackson. The next one would be Ethan Thompson. So those are your point guards from the Indiana side. Now on the other side, Keontae George is out, and they're a little healthier, but lost a lot of depth with the trade. So I'm expecting big minutes for Isaiah Collier, who's really good. And so this is a great matchup now. I mean, this is like one of those G League games that just defense, you hope that these guys are good at offense and it's just a bad defensive game.
Yeah.
Which is what I think it's going to be. So I think we're going to see guys just be great values tonight. I mean, it's just hard for them not to be. From there, we have stud. This is the position where we actually have a couple of the main big studs tonight, and I would say 3 are completely viable. The first one being Luka, obviously. Luka's always viable if he's starting or playing. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, we have to wait that he's going to actually play or not, but I think he is going to play. But I think they play the Spurs tomorrow on a back-to-back. I'm not sure. I think I read that. and then Cade Cunningham. From there, there's still more plays here. There's Ryan Rollins, who's just been really damn good, and just has a lot of good offensive game in there against a weathered down Chicago Bulls team tonight as well. So, and I'm worried about playing, like I would say some Bulls guys potentially, but I'm worried that there's going to be more trades and you might not see them come game start, like Ayo Dosunmu being one of them. A little scared to play him, but he is a good play. That's what I'll say for now. I'll leave some rest for TJ.
Okay, TJ, we can do a lot here. I mean, there's some value, there's some spend ups, there's some in between. Like, how do you handle that?
I also forgot to mention in the run, like when we were breaking it down at the beginning, that all of OKC is questionable. So there's that as well. Like we still have Q tags for SGA, Holmgren, and Hartenstein and half of that team. But point guard spot for me, Quentin Jackson and Isaiah Collier are tied for my highest owned plays. And I'm going to be even on Collier and underweight on Quentin Jackson. Jackson, both are must plays in cash. Jackson's projecting for like 75% ownership today. I'm going to have 50% of both of them, but they are my two highest owned plays on the slate. Rollins coming in at 2, and I'm going to be going overweight on the spend ups in general because I'm going to have about 40% Rollins. Love him today for tournaments. If you land on him in cash, I think that's fine as like a last piece in your play 3 point guards type of situation. But I really like Rollins as well. And then I'm getting heavy on Luka Doncic and Cade Cunningham, 30% Luka, 20% Cade. This just feels like such a great spot to spend up to me today. And then the other guy I'd want to throw out there would be Ryan Nembhard, who Dallas doesn't have any point guards left. Like they do run flag out at point guard, but there's no Brandon Williams for this game. There's no D'Angelo Russell for this game. Nembhard is going to have to play a lot of minutes, and he's going to go overlooked in comparison to all these Indiana guys. And then Cam Jones, Ethan Thompson are the other 2 Indiana guys I'm just throwing in there because I'm playing 150 lineups.
Okay, very good. Let's go to shooting guard, TJ.
Jackson can be played here as well, and this is typically where I'd recommend playing him just because point guard's quite a bit stronger. Ben Shepherd, I'll be about even to the field on him as well. I'll have about 30%. He's probably the number 2 guard for Indiana, but honestly, Jackson and Shepherd, we've seen them both have games where they play 30 minutes and just don't do anything. Now, those typically were in games where there were other starters as well. And so these are still very good plays, but I do think there are, routes that you can fade them in tournaments, but would still choose Jackson over Shepherd if I'm only picking one of them, even though Jackson's going to be twice as highly owned. And if I'm fading, I'd rather just go elsewhere. I do really like Bryce Sensabaugh in that same game. Utah is only going to have 8 bodies. He's going to play some minutes. Anytime Sensabaugh gets minutes, he usually does pretty well from a DFS perspective. Like him quite a bit. Don't mind Ayo Dosunmu. A little bit of Josh Hart, I think, is very interesting. And then I mentioned Ethan Thompson and Cam Jones already at point guard. At shooting guard, you can throw in a Taylor Porter as well, somebody who I had not heard of until today. But let's just load up on all the 3K Indiana guys.
Sure, why not? Kirk, your thoughts at shooting guard?
Yeah, there's another one too. We didn't say Killer Cam Jones.
I mentioned Cam Jones.
Oh, you did? Okay, I missed it.
Yeah.
All right, so all the guys that TJ said are in play. I think it's pretty straightforward. I'd be scared I would just not play Kobe White tonight because I think he's going to get moved. It might be tomorrow or on Thursday, but could happen at any point in time. So I worry about that. But I totally agree with Sensabaugh. I think if you want to get a little deeper and do some like pivots on some of these value guys, like a Pelly Larson is a guy that he's not the most exciting, but he's had some decent games, especially in his last 3. He did, and against Chicago the other night, put up 46 fantasy points, followed it up with 35. And Norman Powell was out, and so was Andrew Wiggins, and those are 2 key pieces for the Miami Heat, with also Hero out. So I could see that working out pretty well. And then it's basically all the value guys that we said.
All right, let's go to small forward.
Okay. Small forward. So here, Jarace Walker. I think he's good in general. I was expecting him to be good this year. He's got a lot of upside, especially for the minutes. He's only 5,200. I guess, I mean, there could be some downside potentially, but I think he's going to smash. If it's Utah, he's a good offensive player, so he's one of my favorites. I think for a higher end guy, I think Jaylen Brown does well in Dallas tonight. So I think he's a really top stud tonight. Jaime Jaquez is another Miami Heat guy that always benefits whenever Hero and Powell are out. So, and he's good. So I like that. Johnny Furphy is another Pacer who's 3,900. These are all good, solid plays. I think I told you guys Cooper Flag is more playable here on DK than he is on FanDuel. But I know it's the Celtics defense, and that's a reason to he's just so damn freaking good this early, and it's pretty annoying, but I have to admit it, So I think he's a good solid play tonight. He probably will get some double teams and whatnot, but I think people can have big games against the Celtics. It can happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I would not put that out of the range of possibilities. And then Josh Hart would have been a better play earlier in the day. It has fallen down as news has shaken out here, but he's still a guy that could triple-double against the Washington defense tonight. So I like that. I'll leave TJ with more.
Okay, TJ, your thoughts as small forward?
Walker going to be my number one guy here as well. I have about 50% of him, 49% to be exact. My third highest owned guy behind Collier and Quentin Johnson at the other position. Wait, that's receiver. What's Quentin Jackson? Is that his name? Yeah, Quentin Jackson. Johnson is the receiver for the Chargers. Anyways, I'm going to be underweight on Furphy and overweight on Walker. That's kind of the way that I'm going about it. I only have about 20% Furphy. This is one of the Indiana guys that I'm totally fine going underweight to today. Jaylen Brown, one of my favorite spend-ups on the slate, getting to a lot of him. Mentioned Sensabaugh at the shooting guard position already. And then Kyle Kuzma, I think, is a really great play as well here. He already looked good to me with Portis playing, and now without Portis, I think Kuzma is a really awesome spot.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to the 4.
Aaron Aaron in the YouTube chat saying they've mispronounced 3 different names of Pacers players thus far. That's because all of these guys were on the G League team before today. This isn't like a real NBA roster.
Yeah.
We're not tuning in every weekday to see some Ethan Thompson and Cam Jones on our screens every night.
Yeah, I think you got to give us a little bit of grace on this one, Aaron. Just let it slide as we pull in these players who literally have never played in the NBA before.
Do you know how many people in this industry, and including us, just butcher names all day? We look at spreadsheets, we look at plays, we also watch ball, but if these guys aren't getting enough time, and
the game has changed,
and you get something in your head, because you pronounced it that way in the beginning, and then you always go back to that, even though you know it's not as correct name.
But you don't need to even know ball anymore to be a great DFS player. There's very little of that. Some of the best DFS players know dick about whatever sport they're playing. It doesn't matter. They understand.
What I hate? Right. I hate those in the industry who are like that, who brag about it like it's a medal of honor.
Oh, I know, it's annoying. Blender.
Yeah, they're like, I don't even watch it. I don't even know.
Yeah, I love.
Okay, we get it. You say it every freaking day. Okay, want a medal?
Jalen Smith is in. By the way, just got that news. Jalen Smith is in. TJ, we were at power forward, I think, and then we got in a fight. I don't know if we finished power forward or not. I got distracted.
Aaron,
I will start power forward. And Jalen Smith is an option here now that he is in. We assume he's going to be starting at the 5 today for Chicago. He does look really good, as does Jay Huff, though. Jay Huff, $4,300, probably going to play a ton of minutes today. He's going to be upwards of 50% owned. I'm going to have about 50% of him as well. He and Jarris Walker are just good chalk in this spot, I think. To me, these are, like I mentioned, I'd want to get underweight on a guy like Furphy. Huff and Walker are the 2 that I'm comfortable playing into ownership. Jalen Johnson, one of the best spend ups on the slate. Mentioned liking Kyle Kuzma. I don't mind Lauri Markkanen today. I think he's a solid spend up option, especially if you're rolling out a ton of Indiana players. Getting to a little bit of Buzelis, a little bit of Mo Gay with Noah Kongwu or Porzingis, and then a couple Filipowski lineups.
Yeah. Okay. Kirk, your thoughts at the 4?
Yeah. So, and I should have said Kuzma before at the small forward. I don't know how I missed that. I had him as the number 2 top play. But I think it's Jarace Walker again. If you didn't play him at small forward, it's Jay Huff who's should see a ton of minutes. Only 4,300, projects insanely well. Jalen Johnson. There was talk with Porzingis. It helps that Porzingis isn't back. It wasn't going to be big minutes for Porzingis, probably under 20, but that still would have impacted Jalen Johnson. So it's full go from a stud standpoint for him. I think he's good. I love Buzelis tonight. I think this Milwaukee defense is trash without Giannis, and they may be missing Bobby Portis too. But regardless, Buzelis he's the bull that I'm confident they're not going to get rid of, and also confident that he can do some scoring tonight for them. So I like him. I like Lauri Markkanen. I like Jaime Jaquez. Another punt that probably won't get a lot of ownership is Fontecchio for the Heat with everybody out, but he could be a pivot. And then Jalen Smith looks pretty strong, is probably the only big man for the Bulls here tonight.
Okay, very good. Let's go to center.
All right. Center. Miles Turner is my favorite play. He's 6,200, but he's just too cheap for his role. And this matchup against Chicago, which is really good, and the fact that they have no bigs now, really. So I'm expecting for them to go heavy on Miles Turner, but maybe I'm wrong, and they play down and it's more shootout. But he's a big who can run the floor well. He'll shoot the three. He'll do a little bit of everything. He also has the block upside potential on FanDuel and whatnot. Jay Huff is here for again at power forward or center, is one of the top plays on the slate. The guy behind Huff for the Pacers is Isaiah Jackson. Totally in play, projects pretty damn well at 3,200. And if Huff is playing bad, he gets yanked. If foul trouble, anything, Isaiah Jackson is your guy. This is a nut spot for Karl Anthony Towns. I hate Cat as a player, but he's good at taking advantage of inferior teams, and easy matchups. And it doesn't get any easier than this. Literally every category is just made for Cat in this game. If I went over it, I wrote it up, but I don't want to have to just read that for you tonight. But from blocks to steals to points in the paint, the fact that Mitchell Robinson is out tonight, which always helps his rebounding. So I think it's a really big game. Plus, good from behind the arc. Bam Adebayo. A lot of guys are out for the Heat from scoring options. He's going to need to score against Atlanta. So I like that. Joker. It's not the full Joker. I think he's probably capped at 30, 31, 32 minutes, like somewhere. That's kind of where he was running to be in the last game. And he's also, he didn't look like his full self. He definitely, missed some passes or some plays, whatever, but it just takes a little playing time to get back to normal. But still, there's so much value everywhere, and he's a star that absolutely could go off, even though the Detroit defense is pretty good. And if I missed anyone, I'll leave it for TJ.
Yeah. TJ, center.
So Quentin Jackson, the guy who's going to be 75% owned today, is not starting. He was projected to start, and it is Cam Jones in the starting lineup ahead of Quentin Jackson. I'll be very interested to see what our projections update to, but off the top of my head, I think I'm going to want to get to more Cam Jones than Quentin Jackson now, especially because, just naturally, Jackson's probably going to be going over owned now. So I'll be upgrading to get some more Cam Jones and a little bit less Quentin Jackson, but we'll figure out how much after I see a projection update once that comes in. But back to the center spot. My top 4 highest owned guys are either Pacers or Bucks. Number 1, Jay Huff. Number 2, Isaiah Jackson. I saw a question before, Jackson or Huff. Can you play them together? I do think you can. I don't know necessarily that you should, but I don't think it's awful because they're both just such really strong point per minute producers, even if they don't share the court at all today, which they could. There's only 8 guys. Even if they don't share the court at all, they're both strong enough point per minute producers that I think it's fine enough on their own. After that, it's Miles Turner for me. Looks even better without Bobby Portis. And then in lineups that I'm not playing Miles Turner, Pete Nance is absolutely popping now. because he's the only other big guy left for Milwaukee. So Pete Nance, Miles Turner, wouldn't want to play both of them in the same lineup, but I think they're both really strong tournament plays today, as is Yusuf Nurkic. I love him for tournaments. I think playing a ton of Pacers and running it back with Nurk is a really, really great call. And then this is a weird piece of news, but it's worth noting. Trey Jones got upgraded to questionable. He was out and he got upgraded to questionable for Chicago. So there's a chance Chicago could actually have one more body clogging up that group of guards a little bit more. Austin Reeves was,
or maybe
doesn't
they
really matter.
suspect that they're getting rid of another guard or two any moment.
That's possible.
Oh, and we just got Nurkic not starting.
So I was about to. And he has a history of not starting and then just not playing.
Fun.
Right?
You can't play him. You cannot play him tonight.
You can't play him now, which is terrifying because they only had 8 players active. So it's like you'd think he has got to play. They're not going to roll out 7. Maybe they are.
They might. They can roll out 7. They just might.
Kirk, I want to get your thoughts on the starting news. We were going to play a dude who's 70% owned. I assume you were going to play him. Now he's not starting. Your immediate thoughts?
Yeah, I'm going to wait for projections to come in, but I think he's still fine because I think all these guys have to play, but it certainly is a downgrade. So I would he's not like we have other plays, and the guy's starting. I would go with him first.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. We do want to make sure we get to some of these questions. By the way, Portis is now officially out. He was trending that way in an earlier update. I want to make sure we have time to answer a whole lot of your questions. Also, I want to make sure you are aware of one of the coolest things happening in the industry. It's PickLabs. It is the newest RotoGrinders feature. Let you scan for the best player prop and pick 'em bets in just seconds. And it's all built into the app. So you can pick out what bets you like across various sports books and sites like Underdog and Prize Picks. And then it builds the slip, sends it straight to the book of your choice, all within the app. It's pretty cool. You can find PickLabs at rotogrinders.com/PickLabs. Very creative URL there. So make sure you are checking that out. If you're not, you're missing out. There's a little sneak peek for you. Ooh, this is tasty. Oh, it looks good. Look at that. We grade them, your win probabilities, your projections, all that right there. Let's dive over to FanDuel, and Kirk, you can lead us off. Actually, TJ, point guard FanDuel, what do you got for me? And TJ, I see you're updating some Pacers news there in the chat.
Well, yeah, one person in chat was saying that Nurkic isn't starting. Another one was saying that we don't have a starting lineup yet. I just looked, and it does say that there's a Pacers beat writer by the name of Dustin Doperak who dropped the Jazz starters, and it was Collier, Bailey, Cody Williams, Markkanen, Kyle Filipowski. And so I'm going to take Nurkic out of my pool.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you can't catch that 0. Can't do it. Not on this slate. TJ, what do you got going on at point guard?
Good question. Sorry, just making adjustments. This is wild. Isaiah Collier is still my favorite guy over here. 6,200 is just a little bit too cheap for him. I also want to try and get Ryan Rollins. Those are 2 of my favorite plays on the slate. I will go underweight to Kobe White. Just don't really feel the need to play Kobe White at Mega Chalk today. And we did get the news Trey Jones active, but not expected to play. And so shouldn't have to worry about that. But even still, not a big fan of White. Not a big fan of the chalky Benton Shepard either. I'd rather go to Ryan Nembhard at much lower ownership at only 3,700. I think he is a phenomenal pivot today for tournaments. And then I assume Cam Jones. No, Cam Jones is only shooting guard on FanDuel, so we'll save that for when we get over there.
Okay. Kirk, your thoughts at point?
Yeah, it's a little thinner now with that news, I guess. But Collier is my favorite. Ryan Rollins is more of a spend up, but I love him. I think he's going to go nuts tonight. Ben Shepard is there. Ryan Nembhard, like TJ was saying, at 3,700, I think he's a decent play. The studs again, we can play SGA, Kate Cunningham, and Luka. And then that's about it. But I guess I'll mention that I don't like the matchup. I was going to be interested maybe a little bit in Suggs, but I don't think there's massive upside in this spot for him.
Yeah. Okay. Shooting guard.
Shooting guard. Yeah. Second. Okay, so Quentin Jackson, I still think he's a really good play. I think he's going to get a ton of minutes off of the bench, but it's tough because him and Cam project really closely, so it's hard to tell who's going to do better, to be honest with you. I'm more familiar with Quentin Jackson's game. I think it's weird that he's not starting, but whatever. They're both two really good value plays. Ryan Rollins, again, is playable here. Thompson for the Pacers is playable here. Ben Shepherd is playable here. If you want to go up, Jaylen Brown is my guy tonight. We can also then kind of sense about 5,200. I think TJ said before, when he gets minutes, he plays well, and 5,200 is a nice price. Ace Bailey, at least you have a guy starting who's really talented against this Pacers team, so he has true ceiling on this slate, like a big ceiling, I would say, for especially if they lean off Lowry tonight a little bit. Pelly Larson, I still think is interesting on Miami with everybody out, and then that's about it.
Yeah. Okay, TJ, shooting guard.
Yeah, I'm going to be very, very light on Quentin Jackson now, but I do like Cam Jones a lot better. I just think he's going to come in a lot lower owned because with so much going on, people are going to be late to react to the news. Ryan Rollins can be played here. Really, really like him. Don't mind Io. I like the Ace Bailey call a lot. Jaylen Brown is another guy you can play at shooting guard here. Probably would want to utilize him at small forward, though. We've talked lots about Sensabaugh, like him, and then Pelly Larson, I think, is somewhat interesting as well.
Okay.
And basically, I do think any of these, there's Ethan Thompson, Cam Jones, Ben Shepherd, Quentin Jackson. I think all of those Indiana guards are playable if you're running a lot of lineups. I would just personally choose to be most underweight on Jackson because I think he'll be the chalkiest. And I didn't really think he was that good even when he was starting.
Okay, very good. Let's go to small forward, TJ.
Julian Phillips just ruled out for Chicago, which kind of means nothing because Julian Phillips isn't very good, but that's still 15 minutes. We were projecting that those minutes have to go somewhere, and they're already pretty low. Maybe a little bit more Dalen Terry, maybe a little more Olbrich. I'm not sure how much run he ends up getting. Where were we? Sorry, small forward?
Small forward, correct, yeah.
On FanDuel. All right, small forward on FanDuel. Murphy projecting for a ton of ownership. I think he's fine, but I would probably want to get a little bit underweight to the 40-50% we're projecting for him right now. I like spending up to Markkanen or Jaylen Brown. I like Josh Hart in the mid-tier. I like Dalen Terry actually as a pivot off of Johnny Furphy. I think that's a really strong idea for tournaments today. Another position where you can play Bryce Sensabaugh, and then I also really like Jalen Johnson as a spend up.
Yeah. Okay. Kirk, small forward.
Kuzma, Furphy, Lowry, Jaime Jaquez Jr., Jaylen Brown. Those guys are all really solid plays. Ace Bailey. I'm on small forward, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Ace Bailey, Jalen Johnson, and Buzelis, I think, is a really strong. He's my favorite goal tonight. And then, you can play Pelly Larson or Fontecchio if you want to on the Heat.
Okay. How about power forward?
All right. Power forward, my guy is going to be Jarace Walker. I think he's going to have the best offensive game from the Pacers. I think he's a guy who's going to do a bunch of scoring in this matchup. So I like him. He's probably my favorite of all of the Pacer value. Kuzma, I like. I've already said. Lowry again. Jaime Jaquez, Bam. But my guy, 8,500, Karl Anthony Towns. Again, I hate the player. I think he's soft, but he punished his soft matchups, and this is the perfect matchup for him across the board. So I'm expecting a ceiling game for Cat tonight. Especially he had a couple of struggle games. And then if you want another guy on the Bucks now with Bobby Portis, you could play Big Meat Pete Nance. Big Meat Pete Nance.
I didn't realize he had the same nickname. What are the odds?
It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy that they have the same.
It's wild. They just chose that same nickname. Definitely had nothing to do with you. TJ, power forward, what are you doing?
Yeah, Pete Nance looks really good here, where on FanDuel he has that power forward eligibility, only $3,700. And so Nance looks really great as a salary saver. Jarris Walker would be my number one guy here as well. Jalen Smith looks really good. We've talked about the Josh Hart's, Kyle Kuzma's, and Lauri Markkanen's a fair amount already. And so spending up to Jalen Johnson is something I like to get difference. Filipowski at $6,500 I think is totally fine. And then, yeah, that's basically it at power forward for me.
Let's go to center. And I did see some questions with Nurk out, right? You were
Nurkic is not ruled out.
Sorry, excuse me. With Nurk not starting and the question of whether or not he will play at all, is there now someone who's sliding into that position that you are more interested in?
Filipowski looks even better now, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Very good.
I still think Nurkic is probably going to have to play some minutes just because they need the bodies, but takes him out of DFS consideration.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to center, TJ.
J Huff 4,900 is fine, but that's some chalk that I think I'd look to get off of on FanDuel, just because on DraftKings he has power forward eligibility, whereas he doesn't on FanDuel, and he's more expensive here. And so I like the idea of pivoting to his teammate Isaiah Jackson at only 3,600. Miles Turner at 61, I think looks absolutely incredible today. I was about to say Nurkic, but nope, not doing that anymore. It's such a strong position to the group that we've already talked about. I don't think you have much need to go all that different. You can play Towns or Bam here if you really want, but for me, it's a punt with Isaiah Jackson or a mid-tier to Miles Turner.
Yeah. Okay.
What do you have as Turner's ownership?
On FanDuel, I think it was at like 24% right now, but honestly, I don't think we're going to be able to really get a
Who knows?
super accurate number with all the chaos that just happened. But yeah, 25% is what it says on FanDuel.
Okay. Kirk, your thoughts at center, and then we'll open it up to some questions. We've got like 8 or 9 minutes.
My guy's Miles Turner. I mean, he's playing a bunch of guards tonight, and Jalen Smith. So that's who I like best. You can play, obviously, Huff. You can play Isaiah Jackson. You can play Bam. You can play my guy Cap, but you're probably playing them at power forward. Filipowski is definitely in play, does improve. He is 6,500, so a little different dynamic. He still could, not have the best outcome for you at that price tag. We're waiting on OKC news, but if Chet's in, I think Chet is going to be an incredibly low, high upside GPP play. And then even Jalen Duren against the Joker. I think that, with Detroit at home, it could be a big spot for him.
Very good. Guys, we've got 7-8 minutes or so until lock. We've got a bunch of questions in the Discord, a bunch on YouTube as well. We start in the Discord. We will make it to YouTube, and I want to make sure you hit that thumbs up for us if you are watching on the YouTube. TJ, let's do it. I'm still trying to find if Portis or Jalen Smith playing for DraftKings GPPs. I guess that was maybe 10 minutes ago.
Jalen Smith is in, Portis is out.
Thank you. Very good. Let's see. Does Nurkic not starting boost Filipowski? We just went through that. If Nurk is out, Kirkwood, is Markkanen a safer play than Bam on DK for last piece? Doesn't he have to see like 40 minutes?
Yeah, Markkanen should be like a really phenomenal play tonight. Okay. I think Bam should be a really solid play too. So I think those are two like high-end spends, not the top tier, but like kind of the mid-higher that you can feel pretty safe about each of them. Okay.
FanDuel GPP, Kirkwood, right back to you. Larson, Sensabaugh, or Bailey?
I just have a feeling Ace Bailey's going off tonight, so give me Ace Bailey.
Okay. TJ Peterman says a large field GPP, Rollins, Cat, or Cade and Kuz?
I think Rollins, Cat, but I really like both sides.
Okay. And TJ, we did get the latest projections in with some of that breaking news. Anything that you are noticing or want to clear up with anybody watching?
Even with Quentin Jackson coming off the bench, he projects slightly better than Cam Jones does. With the ownership projection, we have Quentin Jackson still at almost double the ownership as Cam Jones though, so I'm personally going to go on the Jones side.
Okay.
The starter.
Okay. Very
But
good.
the projections like the guy off the bench a little bit better.
Okay, thank you for kind of breaking that down to me. Let's see. Scrolling up a little bit in the chat here. Oh boy, we got a lot of questions in. FanDuel GPP, TJ. Cody Williams and Luka, or Bailey and Jalen Johnson?
Bailey, Jalen Johnson.
TJ, Boncaro or Flag in a FanDuel GPP?
Flag.
Kirkdiese, Jaquez, or you drinking the booze on DK? Boozeless.
Okay. Man, I really like them both. I'll say let's drink some booze tonight.
My guy. That dude says Kirk, DK, 4,400 left at forward. Riley or Gay?
Maybe Gay.
Yeah, okay. TJ, is Cam the lock in cash now from Cubic?
No, not necessarily. I think the lock is Isaiah Collier and probably Ryan Rollins too. But Jackson is the best projecting guard for Indiana now is Ben Shepherd, followed by Jackson.
Okay. TJ, right back to you. Turner or Jalen Smith on FanDuel?
Turner.
Kirk, how do you feel about Michael Porter on FanDuel?
You can always play him for GBP here. He does have upside. That revenge game was pretty sweet. You know that one. He went absolutely berserk. I think he's a fine play. He's going to be incredibly. He should be completely low owned tonight.
Yeah. Okay. Kirk, right back to you. Sensabaugh or Larson in a FanDuel cash setup?
I'd go Sensabaugh on cash.
Okay. Cinzia says TJ, Cade and Bam or Luka and Jaquez on FanDuel?
Cade and Bam.
Okay. Matt Smith says TJ, Filipowski, Bailey, or Sensabaugh, last piece in DK cash.
One more time, sorry.
It was Filipowski, Bailey, or Sensabaugh, DK cash, last piece.
Filipowski. He's projecting really well now.
Okay. Did get some more questions in the Discord. Jumping over to those. Kuz or Filipowski, TJ? Is that or Filipowski now gets the bump for you?
Yeah.
Yeah. DK GPP, I'm coming to you, Kirk. Buzelis, Nance, or Filipowski and Gay?
Buzelis and Big Meat Peak.
Okay. New Generation says, Kirk, your favorite cheapie, we need under 3,700 on DK.
God, I hate these questions.
I mean, today is a perfectly good day for these questions.
Well, I got to scroll down.
Pete Nance is the one who projects the best.
There you go.
There you have it. Pete Nance. Okay. Large field GPP, TJ, I'm using 3 Jazzies and 2 Pacers. Is that enough or too much?
No, that's good.
Yeah, very nice. Okay. DK cash question, TJ, Mark Rollins or Kobe White and Jaylen Brown?
Markkanen and Rollins.
Okay. Oh, good. Thank you. How does Shepherd compare to the other Pacers guards? Either of you have thoughts on Shepherd?
Good. He's in the mix.
Currently the one who projects the best.
Yeah. Kirk, any love for Nembhard or the Mavs? I think you mentioned they got no guards.
Mild love.
Okay. I always have a lot of love for him. Jaquez or Kuz?
Give me Kuz.
Okay. DK GPP TJ, we're less than 2 minutes until lock. Bam and Cat or Cade and Jaquez?
Cade and Jaquez.
Lippy says Maxi or Cade. We're spending up, TJ. Where are you spending up, Maxi or Cade, DK?
Cade. Maxi's not on the slate.
This is peak Lippy. It's always.
Did he mean Luka? Are 5 Pacers too many Pacers in a DK GPP, Kirk?
Yeah, I think 4 is okay. 3 is probably best.
Yeah. Okay. Are Kason Wallace and Kenrich Williams in play if the guys are out for late swaps?
Yeah, if they're out for sure.
Yeah. Okay. By the way, we got a golf show in 15 minutes. We are seconds away from lock. Hartenstein or Ayton on DK, TJ?
Neither.
Yeah. Okay. Right now, I've got Luka and JJ and DK Cash. Thoughts?
I mean, there's nothing wrong with Luka or Jalen Johnson as plays. I'm not sure if that's
Yeah.
gonna work.
Okay. Very good, gentlemen. We have hit the lock. We did pretty good. And TJ, I saw you saved us for a couple in the Discord as well. So we have done the things that we came here to do, as always. Make sure you hit the like button on your way out. We appreciate it for TJ, for Kirk, for our wonderful production crew. Always working hard behind the scenes. Guys, we appreciate you. We love you. We got a golf show coming up in 15 minutes. You have been crunched.